There's some kind of old world ruin down here.
You said the Zeniths have their own backup of Gaia, right?
Yeah.
Oh, he
Some
sold it.
proving lab.
Okay.
So maybe they were after Eleuthia. Found its hiding spot, so it sent the distress signal.
Maybe.
You ever gone back to where the old business was?
Looks like some kind of data center. I might be able to access the facility systems from that console.
Oh, nice. New beginnings.
I've never seen a transmitter like this before. Looks like it's self-destructed. This was a Far Zenith research lab. It looks like a lot of data was beamcast from here recently. From that device nearby.
So Eleuthia's gone?
If it was ever here, then probably.
So, exploring another Far Zenith ruin.
But then why were the At least this one doesn't seem to have giant killer machines.
Or anything you can blow up.
Going on me. I can sense my stash.
Oh, there's a staircase. I was like, how do I get up there? Use the stairs. Adoy! Hello, Megan. Yeah, I'm sitting there scanning and looking up. Like, how do I get upstairs?
All this
Not the
stuff.
sharpest tool in the shed.
Wonder what they were doing here.
Well, knowing Far Zenith, probably discovering amazing things. For their
Yeah.
own benefit.
Yeah,
And not so
that
obvious.
sounds about right.
I need a Captain Obvious from like those
Cryogenic
commercials.
chambers. Like the ones I saw inside a Zero Dawn cradle facility. This place keeps on going. Remember when I told you I was made, not born? This is how.
A machine that makes a person. That's incredible.
Yeah.
Like, I kind of wanted to jump through that window, but I'd have no way of getting back up here. I don't want to miss whatever's down here because I wanted to check down here. But most likely this will lead into that room.
Find anything that might tell us what the asset is?
I don't think so.
All right, thank you for being here, Mo Cupcakes, and thank you for just bringing your wonderful presence to the stream, as well as your wonderful tales of the past. I appreciate everything, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your evening. And a round of applause for you again. Definitely big hug.
This place is huge. Some kind of storage room, maybe.
Maybe the asset is in here somewhere.
If it is, somehow the Zenith couldn't find it. Let's look around.
Maybe the Zenith.
So, how is Erend taking all of this?
Fuck.
Really?
Well, Gaia, the Zeniths, the Focus. It's a lot. But when I caught up to him in the Daunt and said you needed our help, he dropped everything and turned around.
Well, he's loyal. That's for sure. Stuff for the stash. The control console. To access the storage units.
Can it tell us if the asset is in one of them?
Oh, let's find out.
"236 containers in storage. Please enter the container number you'd like to retrieve."
236? Wasn't there a number in the distress signal?
You're right. I should check the log.
Yeah, if I remember correctly, it said 237, a bonus container. It's her.
Aloy. with you. Skin's like ice. Must have cut this from her head. But why?
Hello, Elizabeth. Apologies, I don't know what else to call you. My name is Beta. I'm afraid I must be brief. I only have a few minutes before my keepers discover I'm missing, and I still need to remove this implant. I had hoped to find shelter with you, but if you're viewing this, I may be dead. Be careful when you take on Farsiness. They are ruthless, and they have Aletheia, Artemis, and Apollo now. But at least I don't have the Gaia kernel to merge them with. You must succeed, or this was all for nothing. Good luck, and goodbye. So she's
still alive.
We need to get her back to...
Oh shit, they can fly? Aloy! Aloy, can you hear me through this thing?
What's going on, Erend?
2 of those spectral things just fell out of the sky. One of them is heading down towards you. The other
Oh, you
one's
turned
way
off
up
for
here.
tonight, what, Nutty?
We're coming up. Stay in cover until I get there.
You got it.
You don't have to apologize.
Get her to cover in that room. Whatever happens, she stays with us.
Enjoy your life, man. You are not. Nobody is like, you know, under house arrest for this channel. Like you don't. Nobody has to be here when I'm streaming. I want people to enjoy their life and have a good time.
Here it comes!
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Ooh, ugly one, aren't you? I should scan that thing. See if it has any weak spots. That thing's quick. Oh! That acid on there.
Oh, miss me with that bull. Game. set and match.
There.
Are you okay, Aloy?
Yeah, I'm heading up top. Stay down here with the clone for now.
Got it. I'll follow once the coast is clear.
Gotta get back up top and deal with that other Spectre. I just hope Aaron stays in cover.
Aloy!
Aaron!
Yeah, the Spectre's dug its heels in. It's got me pinned down.
Hang tight, I'm almost there.
Just hurry.
Oh, that doesn't sound good. I gotta get to Aaron.
You got an errand to run.
Aaron, I'm here.
Watch out. That thing shoots down the steps.
Stay put. I'll see what I can do.
The second you need me, I'm there.
Spectre's not budging from that spot. Shield down! It's on the move!
Aloy. You aren't winning this battle, Rob. Take this and take it down. Can't beat us around. Aloy, you okay? Let's smash these machines. This done. Aloy, she's... Look, I swear I'm not drunk, but right now I'm seeing double.
Long story, but it'll have to wait.
She needs a healer, but we need to get her back to the base immediately.
Right. Yeah. Well, what are we waiting for then?
You two go on ahead. I need to take another look at that weapon. If I can figure out how that thing works, maybe the Zeniths won't be so invincible after all. I'm catching snowflakes on my lashes.
That was the Ravager cannon from before.
Find this in my stash later.
Oh, here. Wait, no, that's not it. Oh, I thought she meant look at the weapon for the thing. She meant when this would have cooled down. Whoops. I thought it was the weapon that they showed fall off the
No. Damn it. Well, it's better than nothing. I need to get the weapon fragment to Gaia to analyze.
what
we can
the
replicate it.
teleportation.
Maybe we'll have a way to defeat the Zeniths. I should check on the clone, too. Varl, where's our guest?
We're in the maintenance corridor below the control room.
Okay.
Is your focus acting up again?
That's fine.
I can take a look if you want.
Nah.
Erend? You okay?
Huh? Oh, yeah. I mean, why wouldn't I be?
Because there's two of me now.
There's two of you now. At least you seem to be handling it okay.
I wouldn't say that exactly, but I'm trying. Did you speak with Beta at all?
She didn't really wake up till we brought her here. And when she did, I thought it'd be better if Zoe and Varl took care of her. No use crowding someone when they're in a state.
What you reading next?
I saw Gaia added something to the archives about metal rods being used to harness lightning during storms. Guy reminded me of a cousin of mine. Thought he could trap lightning if he covered himself in Stormberg plates. Went up the tallest mountain in the claim to prove it. It ended like a lot of Oseram things do. With a spark and a boom.
What are you working on with your focus?
I'm still figuring out how to read stuff on this thing. Those two lovebirds over there have been giving me a hand. But to be honest, all the little symbols, they give me a headache. But I'll get up to speed. I promise.
I have to get going.
Don't go causing too much trouble.
All right, let's.
The old ones created so many wonderful inventions to help others. To help the planet. Technology really can be an amazing thing.
Yeah, until it gets a mind of its own and decides to kill everyone.
You're just a ray of sunshine, aren't you?
Why is he talking with? Why is she talking with his voice? That's. Oh my gosh.
Aloy, you're back.
Yeah, I'm just, checking up on how everyone's doing.
Yeah.
After meeting someone who looks exactly like you.
Horizon is
isn't
buggy.
you, down in the basement. Guess this must be even stranger for you than it is for us, huh?
A little.
Varl said she may be able to help us in our mission, though.
Maybe. You said you met Beta?
Varl mentioned she was hurt. I thought I'd offer her an extract to soothe the pain.
I've run into a couple of bugs playing Horizon.
I just
Hilarious.
hope she doesn't plan on staying burrowed down there like that. She looks like she's barely seen the light of day as it is.
What else have you been up to?
I've been studying Gaia's seedlings, the subfunctions. I wanted to understand why one of them would do what they did to Fa. Imagine my surprise when I looked into this Hephaestus and found out it helped create all machines, our land gods included. In a way, the Utaru owe Hephaestus our whole way of life, as well as our current troubles.
That's why we have to make Gaia whole again. Learn anything interesting lately?
There's been much to read up on now that Ether has been reunited with Gaia. It's hard to imagine that machines like Stormbirds once helped heal the skies. I used to be terrified of them as a child. Thunder still brings chills to my skin. But everything Gaia creates has a purpose, no?
Yeah. And if we can get Hephaestus back, she can get those Stormbirds in line. I need to get going.
May the land bloom in your steps.
I have to watch that clip.
The old ones created so many wonderful inventions to help others, to help the planet. Technology really can be an amazing thing.
Until it gets a mind of its own and decides to kill everyone.
You're just a ray of sunshine, aren't you?
Why is he talking with? Why is she talking with his voice? That's oh my god.
Aloy, there are more supplies in the chest. Help yourself.
So the old ones painted their faces with
Where'd
something
Katalo
called
go?
makeup. Like the culture. That beats me.
As it does to my people, and the Tanakh.
I just think my face says it all as is. That's all.
That it does.
I have to get the weapon fragment to Gaia first. And check on the clone.
Looks like it switched off the quest. I was like, first.
Aloy, glad you made it back okay. She panicked after waking up and stumbled down here. I thought it best to wait for you.
I'll talk to her. Hello? It's Beta, right? My name's Aloy. What's wrong? Is it your injury? Simulacrum withdrawal syndrome. I don't understand. Sudden removal of a neurologically integrated data device. The brain, especially the cerebellum, goes into a kind of sensory freefall. Everything real feels unreal. Distant. Is there anything that can help? Do you have a focus to spare? It's primitive, but I can make it work. Yeah. Booting up. So, Aloy, I suppose you want information. About you and the Zeniths? Yeah. Why are they here? What do they want? How did they get you? But let's start at the beginning. I'm guessing they faked the destruction of their ship 1,000 years ago? That seems consistent with their behavior. They wouldn't want to be followed. So far, Zenith established a colony world after all. Yes, for a few hundred years, but it didn't last. Some sort of natural disaster rendered it uninhabitable. Okay, so the descendants of Far Zenith escaped a dying planet, and now they want to claim Earth for themselves? Not their descendants. What? Not their descendants. It's them. The same ones who left Earth 1,000 years ago. You didn't know? How can they still be alive? They don't even look... What do they do to themselves? I believe it's a combination of pharmaceutical, cellular treatments, and technological implants. And you? Does that mean that you're... I'm not like them. I was made. On the way to Earth. On the ship. I spent years studying in my training interface, all so that I could serve my function. Access and control of the terraforming system. But why? What do the Zeniths want with it? When I discovered the Zero Dawn system had disseminated into its subcomponents, I thought my purpose was to fix it. But I don't think the Zeniths want that at all. I think they want to wipe Earth clean and start over. So the Zeniths want to exterminate life on Earth. That's what Gaia and I concluded too. But why? Why kill everyone just to take over? When they took me on missions with them, I saw how they butchered the tribal people we encountered. They didn't seem to care about a rejuvenated Earth, so I concluded that they must want a hard reboot of the system. Then they can redesign it to be exactly what they want. Mass extinction for their own comfort? Who thinks like that? Well, without their Gaia kernel, they'll have a hard time doing that. The Zeniths needed Elizabeth's gene print to access Zero Dawn facilities. So they made you. Trained you. And you went along with it? They told me I was born to interface with the Zero Dawn system. When we reached Earth, I pieced together what must have happened to Gaia and her subordinate functions. That's when I started to realize I wasn't meant to fix Gaia. That they must have made me so I could do what their remote extinction signal failed to do. Reboot Earth for their own benefit. So you know about the extinction signal? It was speculation, but the only logical conclusion why Gaia suddenly self-destructed after operating efficiently for centuries. Gaia would have only undertaken such a desperate course of action if it had detected a threat to life on Earth that was more dangerous than ceasing function altogether. I should have realized that she would also order the recreation of Elizabeth Sobek to rebuild her. Yeah, well, surprise. So we're dealing with the same Far Zenith people who once lived on Earth. What else do you know about them? They were some of the most affluent and powerful people on Earth. They controlled almost every major resource, every industry. Gerard commands them. He's the one who decided to set up a base. The others, Eric, Tilda, Verbena, they resent his authority over them, but in the end they Always do what he says. Eric. He's the one I fought back in the Hades Proving Lab.
He enjoys hurting people.
Yeah, I know. You mentioned the Zenith set up a base here on Earth. Where is it?
Off the coast, I think. Whenever I had to go on missions, I was transported inside of a Spectre drone. I couldn't see anything outside. But I did overhear the Zeniths talking about it once. They were discussing setting up a perimeter energy shield to repel the local fauna. I'm certain they have other security measures. Spectre patrols, machine wars. It must be impregnable.
What's inside the base?
Launch facilities, so they can shuttle back and forth to their ship in orbit. Plus, infrastructure to gather materials and fabricate anything they need.
Are there more Zeniths than the ones you met?
I'm not sure. I suppose there must be more of them in the base or back on the ship. For all I know, there could be more of them out in space, other survivors of the colony.
You said the Zenith's colony in the Sirius system was destroyed. What happened?
All I was ever told was that a natural disaster forced them to leave Sirius. I've speculated that it was an extrasolar object or a cataclysmic seismic event. Or maybe even an abnormally violent coronal mass ejection from Sirius A.
The Zeniths never told you any details.
They said the only thing that mattered was that they survived. First Earth, 1,000 years ago, and then Sirius.
Guess they survived old age, too. How did you escape the Zeniths?
Before the Hades Proving Lab, I never thought I'd get away from them. Even if I were to run. I'd never survive on my own in the wilds. But then I saw you. And I thought that maybe you could help me. So when the Zeniths pinpointed Eluthia's location in the biomedical research facility, I saw an opportunity.
You said you saw an opportunity to escape when you went to capture Eluthia. What did you do, exactly?
Whenever I was taken out on a mission to recover a subordinate function, only one of the Zeniths would go with me.
The one the rebels killed, outside the facility.
But Baina's dead? How did they bypass her shield?
I'm looking into it. But you were talking about your escape?
Well, when it was time to use the Zenith's transmitter to send Eluthia back to base, I also sent the encrypted transmission. Then I distracted Verbaina long enough to seal myself in the ectogenic chamber, altering the facility's log so it appeared that there were only 236 containers.
And the Gaia root kernel?
I told them I could capture Eluthia faster if I had it with me, and they believed me.
Well done. You said you were born on the way to Earth. In an artificial womb, I'm guessing?
The Zeniths had an ectogenic chamber aboard the ship. An updated version of the one you found me in. They must have used a stored sample of Elizabeth's DNA.
I doubt Elizabeth would have let them take her DNA. Do you know how they got it?
That wasn't part of the archive I was allowed to access.
You said you spent years studying in a training interface. Was this archive you mentioned part of that?
But only the parts I was permitted to access. Aristotle and Aspasia, the avatars of the archive, would assign me learning modules and evaluate my progress.
Wait, those names. They were designed to be the virtual guides for the Apollo database. Before Ted Faro purged it.
The Zeniths have a copy.
So it still exists. And you got to learn from it.
Only what was deemed pertinent to the mission. If I requested information outside of my parameters, my tutors would deny it.
To have all that knowledge, just out of reach. Must have been frustrating. All right, I think that's enough for now. Do you want to come upstairs, or...
So how long? You know, your plan. How long before Gaius fabricated a machine army to defeat the Zeniths?
How did you know?
Optimal strategy, so?
Well, I still have to get 2 more subordinate functions before Gaia's powerful enough to absorb Hephaestus.
What? You don't have Hephaestus already?
Gaia's still figuring out how to capture it. It's not confined to a single location. Of course not. You didn't even know who the Zeniths really are. You were supposed to be further along by now. Coming here was a mistake. They're gonna find me. They're gonna find this place and take me back. This was all for nothing. They're not going to find us. Gaia's using Minerva to mask our location. What difference does it make? You're too far behind. We're never going to beat them. Everything, everyone, are gonna die. Hey, calm down. You're here now, right? So is there anything you can do to help? I have certain knowledge sets. And given your state of progress, expertise you probably lack. Geoengineering, of course. Computer science, physics, biology, chemistry. Okay. Well, see if you can do something with that. Talk to Gaia. I'll check on you later.
How'd it go?
Her injury's not that bad, but I think she regrets coming here. Feeling might be mutual.
I'll come back later and talk to her. See if I can learn anything.
I should get the weapon fragment to Gaia.
So you like hearing me butcher Utaru music?
I sure don't.
Hey, you and Erend okay?
Nothing some rest can't take care of. Are you okay? This beta thing, it's a lot. Even for you.
Just trying to take it one step at a time.
Fair enough. If you need anything, just let me know.
How's everyone dealing with beta?
I tried explaining what a clone is to Erend. He was totally lost. Then Zoe said something about 2 trees coming from 1 seed. That seemed to help a bit.
I see everyone settling in.
Zoe's planning on bringing all kinds of plants in here. Says a home should always spring with life anew. I asked Erend to help find some. I think he'd rather stick his head into a snap mall.
Still, it's not a bad idea. Should liven up the place. It's good to see you and Zoe enjoying yourselves.
We're learning a lot. I've actually been looking through the data to find ideas for a gift, and to thank her for helping me study the glyphs. Something from the old world that she's never seen before. Instead, I found out they gave each other stuffed animals. If you ask me, stuffing a dead animal with anything, really, doesn't sound like a good time for anybody.
Maybe Gaia can help you find something else. I should get back to the wilds.
I'll keep an eye on Beta. Make sure she's comfortable.
Okay. It was pretty weird talking to Beta, seeing someone who looks like me. Even though it seems like she doesn't act anything like me. Or Elizabeth, for that matter. When I met Hikaru, I figured he was just another bloodthirsty warlord. But Fashav was right. Hikaru wants peace. It won't be easy. But with his new marshals, maybe his vision has a chance. Looks like some of the holograms are working now.
I have repurposed the displays to track Regalla's activity in the region. A useful war map.
I hope I'm not interrupting.
No, but I must ask. The woman Varl and Aaron brought in, she's related to you.
It's hard to explain. She's more of a copy.
Good. If she's anything like you, we've just gained reinforcements.
Maybe. I heard my friend Talana came by the base. Did you get a chance to meet her?
Briefly. A bold woman going into Tanakh territory with that Karja armor of hers. She'll be lucky if my people don't shoot her on sight.
She'll be careful. She's just looking for someone who might need her help.
Whoever it is, they better be worth dying for.
Have you had a chance to speak with Varl?
Briefly. He fought well against Regalla's troops at Barren Light. Are all Nora as skilled as the two of you?
I'm not exactly one of them. But anyway, the Nora can hold their own. They managed to push the Karja from their lands.
I thought my tribe was the only one to have done that. Impressive.
You said you were training with the Focus?
That's right. I've been watching holograms of your first fight with the Zenith Spectres. They are faster and more agile than any machines I've faced before. How many do the Zeniths have?
I'm not sure. Probably a lot.
I would not wish to face them en masse.
I'm with you there. Getting Ether out of the Grove made for quite a spectacle.
One that showed the entire tribe that Hikaru's mission for peace is the correct path, for it is now blessed by the Ten themselves.
I need to go.
On your way, then. Rebels know exactly where to hit us.
Welcome back. Aloy, I see we have a new guest. So now we know the origin of the transmission.
Yeah. I also recovered this. The weapon it was part of somehow stripped a Zenith of its shield, but it malfunctioned and blew up. If we can recreate the weapon and improve it, maybe we'll gain the upper hand on the Zeniths.
A moment, I will scan it. Complete. By combining the results with data from your focus, I can infer that the weapon was highly advanced, comparable to Zenith technology, but not how it worked.
Did the explosion corrupt the data?
It was only a catalyst. The moment the weapon malfunctioned, it appears a command executed to purge all data within its core. Ostensibly, this was to prevent the weapon's secrets from falling into enemy hands. Whoever designed this weapon knew how to cover their tracks.
Silence.
Based on your data on him, that is my conclusion as well.
Oh, damn.
And he's not gonna cooperate with us. Well, it was worth a shot. But that's not all. The Zeniths got Aletheia, along with Artemis and Apollo.
That is unfortunate. However, our original plan remains unchanged. The 2 remaining subordinate functions should increase my heuristic processing density enough to absorb Hephaestus.
Right. One problem at a time. Well, I guess I better get back out there.
I wish you luck on your search.
Right. Thanks, Gaia. So I guess we won't be making use of Sylens' weapon. And now there is another clone of Elizabeth here with us. But I can't let it distract me. I still have 2 more subfunctions to get. Hey, Gaia. It's me.
Hello, Aloy. Did you wish to continue our discussion?
The missing subordinate functions. What can you tell me about them?
Artemis rewilded the Earth with a variety of animal species. Eleuthia was responsible for gestating, nurturing, and acculturating a new generation of humans. Apollo was tasked in disseminating. Unfortunately, all archived Apollo data was
Pharaoh, huh?
Understandable. He appears to have...
All 3 of or were prevented from doing so. Do you still...
Restoring their... empowering my... Unfortunately, attaining them in the short term is very likely impossible.
I guess our best shot at recovering them is by taking over the Zenith base. But we'll need Hephaestus and a bunch of combat machines to do that.
Correct.
So, once Hephaestus has been recovered and merged, you'll regain the capacity to mass-produce machines at cauldrons around the world.
Yes. And to program their behavioral routines. Or even control them directly.
So you could build an army of machines. Attack the Zeniths and take them out.
It is in my nature to take any and all necessary steps to preserve life on Earth. Human life above all. So yes, once I have been empowered with the capacities of Hephaestus, I could design, build, and command such an army. Given the nature of the far Zenith threat, doing so may be our only option. I must admit, however, that I have misgivings about using such technology to kill, no matter how aggressive the enemy.
That's good. It means you have a conscience. As Elizabeth intended.
Indeed.
Beta believes the Zeniths want to use the terraforming system to wipe out life on Earth. Start over. So they can build it how they want.
Further supporting our hypothesis.
But why? Given their technology, they could wipe out the tribes of the world by easier means. And if they're the same people who left Earth 1,000 years ago, wouldn't they want the biosphere to be as it was?
It is likely they adjusted to different planetary conditions in their colony on Sirius. They may be trying to recreate that environment here.
Turning Earth into a new Sirius.
They can't be
Their own
serious.
personal playground. So the Zeniths are the same people who left Earth. Physically immortal. How'd they figure it out?
From what we know of Far Zenith, it is plausible that prominent geneticists and engineers were offered a place aboard the Odyssey in exchange for their expertise. Given enough time, technology, and resources, any challenge can be overcome.
Like how Minerva eventually generated the deactivation codes for the Pharaoh Plague.
Exactly.
The Zeniths. Gerard, Eric, Tilda, Verbena. Beta said they were some of the most powerful people on Earth. Do you know anything about them?
Unfortunately, no. My personal database is limited to those who worked on Zero Dawn. Additionally, it appears Far Zenith was quite secretive about their members. Only one, Oswald Dahlgard, was ever publicly known.
Right. He was the spokesperson back at their old launch facility.
What we can conclude from your and Beta's experiences is that the Zeniths are ruthless in pursuit of their goal. To protect life on Earth, they must be stopped.
The extinction signal didn't just wake Hades. It made every subordinate function self-aware. Why?
I have wondered this myself. So far as I can tell, Hades was the sole target, and the partial sentience imparted to other subordinate functions was incidental.
A signal that precise would require thorough knowledge of the system. How could the Zeniths know that?
From the records on your focus, it appears Far Zenith had an informant during the development of Zero Dawn.
Hank Shaw. He was supposed to steal a copy of the system for Far Zenith, but Elizabeth and Travis Tate caught him first.
Yes. It is likely Far Zenith acquired knowledge on the system's design through him, despite his failure.
So from what Beta told me, I guess we can assume the Zenith's technology is powerful in all sorts of ways, right?
Yes. As your encounters with them amply demonstrate, they appear to make extensive use of robotic servitors. Further, they seem to be equipped with some kind of protective energy field that shields them from harm.
They seemed indestructible, but that weapon the rebels used stripped their shield somehow.
Throughout history, every defensive technology has eventually been defeated by an offensive counterpart. While we lack the anti-shielding weapon, were I to absorb Hephaestus and utilize it to create a large force of combat machines, no shielding could withstand such an assault indefinitely.
So there's hope.
Always.
So, I guess Beta's here to stay. I gave her a focus. Told her to talk to you to see if she can help. She's not what I expected.
What were you expecting?
I don't know. Someone more helpful, I guess. And less pessimistic.
It is true, she overestimated our progress. However, it is also worth noting that her confidence in your abilities emboldened her to escape the Zeniths.
I guess so.
Give her time. She may yet come around.
When we were at the facility where we found Beta, there were records that said Far Zenith were researching embryogenesis. I know they traded their ectogenic chambers to Zero Dawn, but why were they researching it in the first place?
At this point, we can only speculate. Perhaps at one time they meant the Odyssey to be a colony ship, necessitating such technology. As their goals evolved over time, so did their areas of research.
So they got more selfish as the risks of staying on Earth kept rising. I should be going.
Goodbye, Aloy.
There is something I'd like to discuss. It's about the land gods. If you have time, that is.
You said you wanted to talk about the land gods?
I think there's a way to heal them so that they'll once again provide Plainsong with grain. Gaia gave me a set of instructions. She called it, reboot code. If we deliver it to the land gods, their derangement will end.
That's great.
Maybe. There are thorns on the path. Unless the code is given by Hephaestus, the land gods will reject it. Gaia showed me a way around this. We need components called control cores from machines made by Hephaestus. Machines similar to the land gods.
You mean Grimhorns? Like the one we fought in the repair bay?
Yes. Gaia helped me locate 2 of them out west.
So, kill the machines, get the control cores, then use them to adapt the reboot code into something the land gods will obey?
If all goes well. But taking down 2 Grimhorns won't be easy.
We'll do it together.
Bless you, Aloy. I'll send you the location of the machines.
I'll let you know when I get close to those Grimhorns.
Good. If we can get their control cores, maybe we really can heal the land gods.
Oh, still here, Nutty? Yeah, I was talking to Non-Filter. He said he has a bug in Horizon because you know he streams directly from the system. The bug for him in Horizon is whenever he goes to do the manual save, it ends his stream. I was like, damn. That's fucked up. He's like, yeah. Yeah, it's a weird bug. He did it a couple times. Like, so whenever he streams the game, he can't save normally.
Getting quieter without the rain.
Yeah, I get that window pops up that you're at a screen, but it shouldn't end your stream at all. Like, that's a bit much. Because that window pops up all the time. That window, I know what you're talking about. That window pops up all the time. You know, for any game on PlayStation, it pops up because it's like, you know, you're exiting the game screen to go to that screen. That's fine. It's just the fact that it causes his stream to end is hilarious.
You get a strong color in this.
I mean, I believe he could quick save.
Setting it on fire won't help.
Where are they fighting? they find those soldiers that I was just looking at? Oh wait. Yeah, I just want the antlers. Bro. I mean, I guess every case is different. It's not like me where I run into bugs all the time.
What are they doing out here?
So I don't know if he's had any issues with Dying Light like I have. But he was playing it.
There she goes again, staring at that scrap pile for hours.
Acid ammo will make this go quick.
Genius is at work here. I cannot afford any distractions. If you require salvage, you can... Oh, a hunter! Yes, good. I was hoping one would stop by. There's no time to waste.
Aloy.
That old boar, Karif, is expecting me to merely make the best armor in the Forbidden West. But I, Honda, will give him a masterpiece. And you are going to help me make it. Of course you'll be compensated, though seeing me at work should be gratifying enough.
You're one of Karif's people? So you're competing to make armor for him too. With the Tenakth right next door?
Ha! They've got problems of their own to worry about. Besides, I'm not just making armor. I'm making a work of art, imbued with the majesty of ancient machines and wondrous relics, with the steadfastness of the gentle plow horn and the fury of the raging Ravager. So, where do you want to start?
You talked about using plowhorn parts for your armor?
I've been eyeing a herd not too far from here. If you can bring me the right parts, this armor will be as unwavering as they are.
I can try.
Oh, one more thing. Plowhorns sometimes leave a trail of flowers in their path. The Utaru infuse some kind of drink with them to soothe the mind. I'd like to try it, see if it inspires any ideas.
Right. I'll see what I can do. You talked about using ancient relics for your armor?
Correct. But that dream has fizzled like a wet forge.
What do you mean?
I acquired scouting reports on this area dating back to the Red Raids. They told of ruins filled with treasure. But some of our younger recruits stole the scrolls and absconded to go after the relics. I want them found before they run away with my salvage.
I can try to track them down.
Give them a good thrashing for me while you're at it, will you?
So you want your armor to wield a Ravager's fury? Sounds interesting.
I tracked down a pack of them near here. Shoot off one of their cannons, and I can make my armor just as deadly.
I'll, take a look. See what I can do.
Well, if you get to it, we'll pick it up when you're done.
You said you wanted ancient machine parts for your armor?
Ah, yes. There's entire graveyards of them nearby. Dreadful things. With some of their parts, I can make armor that will instill fear and disquiet in the enemy.
I'll, read up on the details.
Splendid! I look forward to your success. Ah, need some machine parts? Or want me to take some off your hands? Oh, we're done now. Excellent. Aloy, you're hard at work on those contracts, I hope.
Yep. I have to go.
Luck be with you.
Who cares? We're in Tanak territory. I can take them, and if not, I can outrun them.
Hey, were you watching his streams? Or did he mention it in the chat? Because Dying Light, buggy, and you already know. For me, it's unplayable.
I should read those contracts when I have some time. Figure out exactly what I have to do. Things holding up?
Yeah, they were supposed to make it playable so that you can play with friends.
Must be the village Zoko was talking about. Looks like the whole place flooded. Maybe from a recent storm. Wonder if anyone made it out. Best check around the shore.
Like, Dying Light was supposed to. Yeah, my game is buggy, but the thing is, I can still play with other people, and if I join their game, and it's like they said they updated the game to fix multiplayer, but they didn't make it cross-platform. Because I have a friend that I'm trying to play with, and I can't play with them because they're on PS4. Like, it was supposed to be, on the same system cross-platform. I don't know if it was supposed to, but it just makes sense. Like, why would you not want people to play together?
Hold on. I'll figure something out. I need to find a way for the Tanaks to get down from the cliff. That big crane could help. If I can get it into the right position, I could make a bridge for them.
Go up.
I need to get the crane into the right position. The crane's too far from the Tanaks on the cliff. But maybe I can get it to move. thick. Loaded. I love us blocking the base of the crane. Maybe I can clear it if I pull that back. I must be stuck on something else. Underwater, maybe. My focus can help me search.
Are you? Oh, press the wrong button.
Okay, crane's in place.
Oh, why is she swimming now?
Now, how to lower it to reach the cliff. I should take a look at the bottom of the crane's arm. See if there's a way to move it. Looks like there's something weighing the arm down. There. If I pull out that beam, it should remove the counterweight and lower the arm. Don't think I can pull the beam from here. I have to get up higher. There we go. Oh, damn it. Arm's stuck on something. I better climb up and take a look. There are a few survivors on that overlook. I should see if they're okay. Shut that machine down quick with shock ammo. If I detach those cables, the arm should drop the rest of the way.
It's about to drop! Watch out!
We're clear.
Blood up the 10. How'd you manage to do that? I don't know how you did it, but thanks for the rescue.
Is everyone okay?
His legs snapped against some debris as we were making a run for it, but he'll live.
Damn.
How'd you get stuck up here?
A mudslide tore through the village in the last storm. This ledge was just above the flood when we got to it. But by the time everything calmed down, the water had receded, leaving us stranded. And we couldn't leave a fellow soldier behind.
Can you make it to the shore from here?
We'll manage. I think I saw Natiko in an overlook there. We'll head for her location. She'll know what we should do next. When the mudslide hit, I saw some of the others running towards the metal towers. You might want to check there.
Thanks. I'll look into it. survivors on that broken watchtower. Is he all right?
He will be. There.
But what about the others?
Let me worry about that. Rest now. I'm Natika. You're a long way from the east, Outlander.
You're Natika. So this must be Bleeding Mark.
What's left of it? How do you know this place?
The Inker's apprentice in Scalding Spear told me to find you. He was worried something happened to your supply caravan.
Well, as you can see, we have more important problems than delivering Ashblood.
What happened here?
The last storm caused a deluge that brought down half of the mountain. The mudslide barreled right through the village. I hear we have you to thank for getting these soldiers to safety. But there are others still missing, and I need to keep watch here.
Then I'll take another look around. If I find anyone else, I'll send them your way.
Much appreciated. And if you see an older soldier, grim-faced, goes by Kentok, tell him I'm here.
Alright. I look like your courier? Like, what the hell? Give me messages. I mean, oh hell, I should just go clockwise around this place.
Can anyone hear us? Where are you? We're trapped in this tower. Flood blocked the way we came in. There's a ladder at the top, but we can't reach it. Okay, I'll find a way to get to you.
I need to get to the ladder at the top of the building. Maybe there's a way to cross over from the broken one next to it. I'll get my kit dry at least. Focus might find something I missed.
Oh, I can push this tree over. Timber!
That works. Now I just need to climb inside to get to the top. Should be able to cross over to the survivors from there. I'll stash this away for later. There's the ladder on the other building. I can make that jump.
No! Oh, fail. It's like that feeling of deja vu. Because I did this already.
Looks like it's stuck. Maybe I can use my weight to make it drop?
Whoa, whoa! No! That was our only way out! Who are you, anyway?
Everyone okay?
You're not one of us. Sorry. Yes. We took shelter in here when a mudslide swept through the village, but debris blocked the passage we came in through. That ladder was our only way out, but we couldn't reach it from here.
Don't worry. I'll find us another way out of here.
Do you know what happened to the others? Before we ran in here, I thought I saw a few of our comrades climbing up a watchtower on the north side, near the grotto.
I'll look into it. As soon as you're out, head for the shore. Natika's waiting on an overlook there.
So she survived. Good. We'll join her as soon as we have a way out.
Okay. Sit tight for now. looks full, but my stash has room. That should do it.
Okay. You should have a way out. Thanks. We'll head to the shore in a moment.
It didn't look like Kentok was with this group. Okay. Better find this watchtower on the north end. Machines. Must have moved in after the flood. Shotgun will come handy.
Needed a place to take cover from the machines?
Machines got us trapped up here. We lost our weapons in the mudslide.
Sit tight. I'll take care of them.
Those ancient machines Honda wanted me to check out should be I think I'll read the contract one more time. Make sure I didn't miss anything.
Crush him with the boulders!
They're trying to crush me with boulders. Their own body weight and everything.
Those boulders. Break the support beam, crush the machines. That's enough now.
We're coming down!
Alright, have a good night, Nettie.
Me. I can send it to my stash.
I don't know who you are, but you saved us.
Is everyone okay?
Better now, without snapmaws prowling around. You sure know how to fight.
Have you seen Kentok? Natika asked me to keep an eye out for him.
Last I saw him was before the mudslide hit.
Okay. Head for the shore, on the other side of the village. Natika's there with the other survivors.
Will do. Thanks again.
Okay. I think that's it for survivors. I didn't see Kentok among them. I should head back to Natika. Let her know. I'll pick these up.
Rest now. Aloy, thanks to you, these soldiers are safe. But where's Kentok?
I didn't see anyone who matched his description. Do you know where he was when the storm hit?
I was the last one to see him, just before. I told him I wanted to leave this place to pledge my blade to the Chief's guard, but he refused to discharge me from the squad. All Tenakth are stubborn fighters, but Kentok is more so than most. So I walked out. I was coming back from the opposite ridge when I saw the mudslide.
You were coming back to make amends.
I must find him. If anyone can survive such a storm, it's him.
You said Kentok is your squad leader?
I've trained under him ever since I was assigned to a squad. He's tough as a shell snapper. Unforgiving as the desert. But my blade is quicker, deadlier because of him. And he taught me to fight for duty, not just glory.
To serve something greater than yourself.
Yes, and yet he wants me to be tethered to this place, rather than fulfilling a greater purpose with the Chief's guard.
You said you wanted to pledge your blade to the Chief's guard. Is that what the Marshals are?
No. The Marshals travel the breadth of the clan lands, enacting Chief Hikaru's will. The guard remains at the Grove to defend it and the Chief. But like the Marshals, only a handful are chosen for such an honor.
So why did Kentok not want you to go?
He claimed that the greater honor was to serve my squad and clan. But all we do here is gather supplies for ink. How can that compare to guarding the Grove? The Chief himself.
So a mudslide did all this? Must have been quite a storm.
We've had more and more of them over the last few years. Torrential rain, lightning strikes, winds that rattle the metal towers. But this last one was the worst yet. This area used to be as arid as the rest of the desert. The storms have changed all that. But for all this water, we still rely on the capital for our supply.
Why is that?
This water's poisoned by ash blood. Undrinkable as machine oil.
The Inker's apprentice in Scalding Spear mentioned you exchange ash blood for water.
It's the way of the desert, where other villages hunt for food or machine parts to trade with the capital. We collect rocks. Important rocks. The clan relies on ash blood to mark their skin. How can they record their glories without our supply?
I can take another look around the village. Where did you last see?
Natika.
I'm here.
Where's Kentok? Did he make it?
We're going to find him.
He saved me. Pushed me out of the way as everything collapsed. But then the flood took him. Towards the gouge.
The gouge?
It's an ancient passage that leads deep underground. Come. I'll show you.
Natika, we need orders. We're exposed out here. Only half of us can hold a blade if machines come.
What do you want us to do?
Go. The gouge is in the hillside, northwest of here. I'll catch up when I can.
What are we going to do now?
Let's get a couple soldiers posted as lookouts to start.
Understood.
must be the gouge. Looks like an old mine. There's a lot of debris in the mines. Maybe Kentok got swept in there during the flood. I'm gonna have to finish something to get inside. Time to head in. Okay, let's see where this leads. Take it easy. You must be Kentok.
Oh. I was an outlander, no my name.
Natika sent me to find you. The soldier you saved told us you were swept away by the mudslide.
So, he made it. Good. And Natika, she came back?
Yeah. She was on her way back to talk to you when the mudslide happened. She's looking after the survivors now.
It was my mistake to deny her discharge. A soldier is supposed to sacrifice for the good of the tribe. Looking back now, she was right. I didn't want to let her go. The chief's guard will gain an invaluable soldier. At least after all this, I won't be in the way anymore. I can tell you know a fatal wound when you see one. My service to my clan is done. So, leave me.
No, you're not going to die down here. There has to be a way to get you out.
There isn't. I tried to climb out, but it's no use. The walls are too slick.
Water's coming in. From the surface? But not from where I came in. There must be another source. And if I find it, and open it up... You might not be able to move, Kentok, but I think there might be a way to move you. Hey. Hey! I need you to stay awake. I'm gonna take a look around.
You're just like Natika. Relentless as a fireclaw.
And you should be used to it. Just sit tight. I'm going to get you out of here. That waterfall must be coming from somewhere. I need to get higher up to figure out where it's coming from.
Leave me, Outlander. It's okay.
Water's coming from that vent. Dead end. There must be another source. Try further back. There's some metal in that wall across the way. Might be able to pull some of it out. Okay. The waterfall I saw down below should be coming in from somewhere around here. Gotta find its source.
Oh, I almost fell.
Refreshing, I guess.
I was trying to swim underneath. I guess there was nothing down there.
I can get it from my stash later. Water's coming in from there. I can use the fire gleam to break open that wall. And this whole place should flood. That Kentoxine should float right up to the top. Found us a way out. Almost there. Hey, stay with me.
Tell Natika.
You tell her yourself. She said you're a stubborn fighter, so keep fighting.
Kento.
He wanted me to tell you. The blade answers only to the hand that commands it.
He would say that every time we sparred. Sometimes as an insult. Other times as a compliment. But I guess he was right. It was always my choice to stay or go.
I'm sorry you didn't get to make amends.
So am I.
What will you do now?
I'm not sure. Bleeding Mark has a chance to recover. And once that's done, I could join the Chief's Guard. But I have to lay him to rest first. With full soldier's honors. Aloy, wait. You saved my comrades, somehow drained the entire village. I want you to have this.
Thanks. And good luck. Whatever you decide. set that machine on fire.
What? Wow.
You failed.
He was about dead, and I screwed that up. I have to kill him. What? He just ate me?
You failed.
Every time I'm like destroying him, and it's like I get one-shotted even after I'm healing. Yo, this man walked over that mountain.
Find this in my stash later. Take this to a dyer later.
Whoops, wrong button.